don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This message is for you. If this title reached you today, then understand this clearly. Your soulmate is not silent because they forgot you. They are silent because something powerful just happened inside them, something that shook their heart, disturbed their sleep, and forced them to look at your connection in a way they were avoiding for a long time. Your soulmate needs to speak with you right now because a truth they tried to bury has finally risen again, and this time it is not coming softly, it is coming like a storm. They thought they could distract themselves. They thought time would make your energy fade. They thought if they stayed busy, stayed quiet, stayed surrounded by people, stayed away from memories, then this feeling would slowly disappear. But the opposite happened. The more they tried to run from you, the stronger your presence became in their mind. Something important happened recently, and it opened their eyes. Maybe someone mentioned your name. Maybe they saw something that reminded them of you. Maybe they heard a song, saw a sign, checked their phone at the exact moment your energy crossed their heart, or dreamed about you so clearly that when they woke up, they could still feel you near them. Whatever happened, it was not random. It was a divine trigger, a spiritual alarm, a message from the universe saying, enough hiding. Enough delaying. Enough pretending. And now your soulmate is standing at the edge of a decision they can no longer postpone. They need to speak, not because everything is easy, not because they already have perfect words, but because silence has become too heavy. Their heart is carrying things they never said. Their soul is tired of acting like you were just another chapter when deep down they know you were never ordinary. You entered their life for a reason, and now that reason is becoming impossible to ignore. Listen carefully, because this is where the energy becomes intense. Your soulmate recently realized that no one understands them the way your presence did. No one reaches the hidden places inside them the way your energy did. Even when you were not saying much, your silence spoke to something inside them. Even when you were far, they could feel you. Even when they tried to choose logic, their soul kept choosing you. This is why they are restless now. This is why they keep looking at their phone. This is why they type something and delete it. This is why they imagine a conversation with you again and again but still pause before sending the message. It is not because they do not care. It is because they care so much that one wrong word feels dangerous. They know this conversation could change everything. They know once they speak, they cannot return to pretending. They know once they open their heart, the truth will come out, and that truth is powerful. They miss you, they think about you, they feel your absence, and they are beginning to understand that what happened between you was not a coincidence. There is a reason your name still touches their chest differently. There is a reason your memory arrives when they are alone. There is a reason they feel guilty for the words they did not say and the actions they did not take. Something important happened because destiny allowed them to see what life feels like without your energy, and now they are realizing that losing access to your soul was not peace, it was emptiness wearing the mask of control. They may have smiled in front of others. They may have acted normal. They may have made it look like they moved forward. But behind closed doors, when the noise stopped, when the night became quiet, when their own thoughts became loud, you were there. Your energy stood in the room like a truth they could not escape. And now they are asking themselves the question they avoided the most: what if I was wrong? What if I let fear speak louder than love? What if the person I kept pushing away was the person my soul was actually trying to choose? This realization is not small. It is breaking old pride. It is breaking ego. It is breaking fear. It is forcing them to face the difference between what they wanted to appear like and what they actually feel. And the truth is, they are not as strong without you as they tried to look. Your soulmate has been carrying a hidden conversation inside their heart, and now that conversation is becoming too loud to keep inside. They want to explain what happened. They want to tell you why they acted distant. They want to tell you that not everything was what it seemed. They want to tell you there were moments when they almost reached out, moments when they almost confessed, moments when they almost said, "I still feel you," but fear stopped them. Fear of rejection. Fear of vulnerability. Fear that you would not see them the same way. Fear that you had already closed the door. But now something has shifted because the fear of losing you forever is becoming stronger than the fear of speaking. That is why this message reached you. Your soul already knows something is moving. You may have felt it in your body before you understood it in your mind. Maybe you suddenly started thinking about them more. Maybe you felt emotional for no reason. Maybe you saw repeating numbers like 111, 222, 444, 555, or 777. Maybe you woke up at a strange hour with their energy heavy on your chest. Maybe you felt like a message was coming even though nothing had appeared yet. That is not madness. That is spiritual connection. That is energy moving before physical action arrives. The universe often prepares the heart before it changes the situation. And right now, your soulmate's heart is being prepared for truth. They are being shown memories they cannot deny. They are being shown your value in ways they did not expect. They are seeing how rare your love was, how rare your patience was, how rare your energy was, how rare it was to meet someone who could make them feel seen without forcing them to explain everything. And now, after everything, they are realizing that the connection did not die. It was waiting. It was healing. It was transforming in silence. Your soulmate needs to speak with you because they have finally understood that silence can protect pride, but it cannot protect love. Love that is real does not disappear just because two people do not talk. Love that is soul deep continues to communicate through dreams, signs, feelings, memories, sudden emotions, and divine timing. And your connection has been speaking even in silence. It has been whispering, "This is not over." It has been showing both of you that some bonds are not broken by distance, they are tested by it. Some love stories do not end because of separation, they become stronger through the lessons separation brings. Your soulmate is learning that now. They are learning that your absence taught them what your presence meant. They are learning that the people around them may fill time, but they cannot fill the space your soul occupied. They are learning that comfort is not the same as connection, and attention is not the same as love. They are learning that your energy was different, and now that difference is haunting them in the most beautiful and painful way. They need to speak because something inside them is saying, "Don't wait until it is too late." They may not come with perfect confidence. They may come nervous. They may come with a simple message first. They may ask a small question, test the energy, or open a conversation slowly. But behind that small beginning, there is a huge emotional truth. They are not only trying to talk, they are trying to return to honesty. They are trying to understand whether destiny still has a doorway open. They are trying to see if your heart still recognizes theirs. And the powerful thing is, your energy has already been calling this moment in. Every time you chose healing instead of bitterness, you raised the frequency of this connection. Every time you prayed instead of chasing, you gave the universe space to work. Every time you stepped back with dignity, your absence became a mirror. And in that mirror, your soulmate began to see themselves clearly. They saw their fears. They saw their mistakes. They saw the moments they should have spoken softer, acted braver, chosen love instead of confusion. This is why their heart is heavy now. They are not only missing you, they are realizing what they could have done differently. That realization is bringing them closer to a message, closer to a confession, closer to a moment where they finally stop hiding behind silence. But listen, because this part is very important, the universe is not bringing this communication only to satisfy curiosity. It is bringing clarity. It is bringing truth. It is bringing a chance for both souls to understand what was hidden, what was real, what was fear, and what still remains. Your soulmate may reveal something that changes the way you see the past. They may tell you that they were affected more deeply than they showed. They may admit that they watched from a distance. They may confess that they compared others to you and no one felt the same. They may tell you that they wanted to speak many times but did not know how to begin. And when this happens, your heart will understand why the wait felt so intense. It was not empty waiting, it was preparation. You were becoming stronger. They were becoming more aware. The connection was being purified from ego, confusion, and fear. Now the truth is rising because destiny does not awaken a soul connection for no reason. If this message is finding you, it means something in your energetic field is aligning with communication, revelation, and emotional movement. You are being asked to stay calm, stay grounded, and stay powerful. Do not chase the message with anxiety. Do not lower your worth to force someone to speak. Let the universe move what is meant to move. Let their heart gather courage. Let truth arrive in the right way. Because what is real will not need to be begged for. What is divinely guided will find a path. Your soulmate is already feeling the pressure of unsaid words. They are already feeling the pull toward you. They are already sensing that this connection is bigger than their fear. And soon, the silence that felt endless may break with one message, one call, one confession, one unexpected opening that makes your heart pause. But before that moment arrives, understand this: you are not powerless. Your healing is part of the miracle. Your self-respect is part of the attraction. Your peace is part of the invitation. When you stop chasing and start glowing, the right soul feels the shift. When you stop begging for clarity and become clarity within yourself, the universe responds. Your soulmate is feeling that response now. They can feel that you are different. They can feel that your energy is not desperate anymore. They can feel that you are becoming someone who cannot be handled casually. And that is exactly why they know they must speak with truth, not games. Something important happened because divine timing has started moving the pieces. Their pride is being softened. Their fear is being exposed. Their heart is being awakened. Their soul is being reminded. And your name, your face, your energy, your memory, your spiritual presence has become the sign they cannot escape. So when they finally speak, do not be shocked if their words carry emotion they never showed before. Do not be shocked if a simple conversation opens a deep door. Do not be shocked if they say, "I have been thinking about you," when your soul already knew it. This is the moment before movement. This is the breath before confession. This is the quiet before the storm of truth. And the most powerful part is this: they are not coming back to repeat the past if they are truly awakening, they are being pushed to speak because the past needs clarity and the future needs honesty. Your soulmate needs to speak with you right now because their heart has finally understood that some people are not replaceable, some connections are not forgettable, and some love is not meant to be buried under fear. Something important happened, and it made them realize that you were not just a memory. You were a mirror, a lesson, a blessing, a home feeling, a divine interruption, and a soul truth they could not erase. Stay ready, but stay peaceful. Stay open, but stay wise. Stay loving, but stay in your power. Because the message that is forming in their heart is not small. It carries regret, longing, truth, and a desire to finally say what silence could never explain. And when that moment comes, one thing will become clear. The universe did not make you feel this connection so deeply just to leave you confused forever. It was preparing both of you for the conversation that changes everything. They have replayed that future conversation hundreds of times inside their mind, yet every version ends the same way, with silence breaking into honesty. They imagine looking into your eyes and finally saying the words they buried beneath pride, fear, confusion, and uncertainty. They imagine telling you that every attempt to move on only made them realize how deeply your presence had become a part of them. They remember the smallest details now, the things they once believed were insignificant. The way you listened without interrupting. The calm that surrounded your conversations. The strange feeling that life slowed down whenever they thought about you. Those memories are no longer random, they have become reminders. Every reminder whispers the same message: you cannot outrun what your soul already recognizes. That realization has become impossible to ignore, and your soulmate is no longer asking whether they should speak. They are asking themselves how much longer they can remain silent before they lose the chance forever. Every sunrise feels like another opportunity slipping away. Every sunset reminds them that time keeps moving whether they are ready or not. And with each passing day, the weight inside their heart grows heavier. There were moments recently when they almost reached for their phone. They unlocked the screen, searched for your name, stared at it for several long minutes, and imagined pressing send. They even typed a message once. A simple greeting. Nothing dramatic. Nothing overwhelming. Just enough to open the door again. But then doubt arrived. Questions flooded their mind. What if they don't want to hear from me anymore? What if they have found happiness without me? What if I waited too long? Those fears stopped their fingers, but they never erased the feelings. The message disappeared from the screen, yet it remained alive inside their heart. Since that day, the words they wanted to send have only become stronger. They have realized that deleting a message cannot delete love. Pretending not to care cannot erase destiny. Ignoring emotions cannot silence the soul forever. Something else happened that they never expected. They overheard a conversation about second chances. It had nothing to do with them directly, yet every sentence felt as though the universe was speaking straight into their heart. Someone said, "Sometimes the greatest regret in life isn't losing someone. It's never telling them how you truly felt." Those words stayed with them long after the conversation ended. They repeated them during the drive home. They repeated them while trying to sleep. They repeated them the next morning. Suddenly they began seeing those words reflected everywhere, in videos, in songs, in random quotes, even in the quiet thoughts that appeared without warning. They could no longer dismiss it as coincidence. It felt like life itself was urging them toward honesty. Meanwhile, your energy has not gone unnoticed. Even from a distance, they can feel that something about you has changed. You are no longer vibrating from desperation. You are no longer chasing answers the way you once did. You have started choosing your own peace, and strangely, that inner peace has made you even more unforgettable in their eyes. They expected distance to weaken the connection, but instead it strengthened your presence. The more you focused on healing, the louder your energy became within their world. They cannot explain it logically, but every time they think they are finally moving forward, your soul gently appears again, not demanding attention, not forcing itself into their life, simply existing with a quiet strength that leaves them speechless. There have been nights when sleep refused to come. They lay awake staring into darkness, remembering conversations that could have gone differently. They replay moments when they wish they had been braver, kinder, more honest. They recognize the places where fear disguised itself as wisdom. They see how pride convinced them to stay silent when love was asking them to speak. These realizations are not comfortable. They are painful because they reveal opportunities that slipped away. Yet they are also beautiful because they are transforming your soulmate into someone capable of choosing truth over ego. The universe has a remarkable way of preparing hearts before preparing circumstances. Long before two people meet again, invisible changes begin inside them. Old wounds surface so they can heal. Old beliefs crumble so new understanding can grow. Your soulmate is living through that transformation right now. They are beginning to understand that real love is not about control. It is not about always being right. It is not about pretending to be fearless. Real love requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is exactly what they have been avoiding. Now life is gently removing every excuse they once used to stay hidden. Sometimes they smile unexpectedly because a memory of you appears without warning. Other times they become emotional for reasons they cannot explain. They hear laughter that reminds them of yours. They pass places that suddenly feel connected to your story. They notice repeating numbers at moments when thoughts of you are strongest. Each sign feels small by itself, yet together they create a pattern too powerful to ignore. Slowly they are accepting that something greater than coincidence has been guiding this entire journey. They have also started noticing the difference between temporary attention and genuine connection. People have entered their life, conversations have happened, distractions have come and gone, yet none of them created the same feeling your soul awakened inside them. They finally understand that not every relationship reaches the deepest parts of a person's heart. Some people entertain us. Some people teach us. But a soulmate changes us forever. That is why they cannot replace what they shared with you. The space you created inside their spirit has remained untouched. The most difficult part for them is realizing that you may never have known the full truth. They wonder whether you misunderstood their silence. They wonder whether you believed they stopped caring. They wonder how much pain their hesitation caused you. Those questions have become heavier than they expected because deep inside they know you deserved honesty. They know you deserved clarity instead of confusion. They know you deserved words instead of unanswered silence. This understanding is creating courage where fear once lived. Courage does not arrive all at once. It grows quietly. First it becomes a thought. Then it becomes a possibility. Finally it becomes a decision. Your soulmate is standing between possibility and decision. Every day they move a little closer to choosing honesty. Every day the distance between silence and confession becomes smaller. At the same time, the universe is reminding you not to lose yourself while waiting. Your journey has never been only about another person's awakening. It has always been about your own growth as well. Every lesson you learned, every tear you released, every moment you chose peace instead of panic has been preparing you for whatever comes next. Whether the conversation happens tomorrow or later, you are becoming someone who can receive truth without abandoning your own worth. Your soulmate senses this transformation even if they cannot describe it. They feel that your energy has become calmer, stronger, and more grounded. That change inspires them because it shows them what healing looks like. It also challenges them. They realize that if they truly wish to reconnect, they cannot return with half-truths or empty promises. They must come with honesty. They must come with accountability. They must come with a heart willing to speak openly instead of hiding behind fear. And perhaps that is the most important thing that happened. The event that changed everything was not only an external sign or an unexpected conversation. The greatest change happened inside your soulmate themselves. Their perspective shifted. Their priorities changed. Their understanding of love matured. They no longer want temporary comfort. They want something real. They want something that survives distance, silence, misunderstanding, and time. They are beginning to recognize that the connection they kept questioning may have been the very blessing they were searching for all along. So if your heart has been sensing movement lately, trust your intuition without letting it become anxiety. Continue choosing your peace. Continue choosing your growth. Continue allowing divine timing to unfold naturally. Because the words forming inside your soulmate are becoming impossible to contain. Every lesson they have lived through is leading toward a single moment, a moment when silence is replaced by truth, fear is replaced by courage, and uncertainty is replaced by honesty. But what they discovered just before deciding to finally reach out, was even more shocking than everything that came before, and that revelation completely changed the message they now feel called to share with you. Just when your soulmate believed they had finally understood everything, life placed one final revelation in front of them, and it changed the direction of their heart completely. It did not happen during a dramatic event. It happened during an ordinary moment, the kind of moment most people would never remember. They were sitting alone with their thoughts when a powerful feeling suddenly washed over them. It wasn't fear. It wasn't excitement. It was recognition. Deep inside, something whispered, "You've been running from the very person who made your soul feel alive." Those words echoed through every memory they had tried to bury. Suddenly they weren't remembering arguments or misunderstandings anymore. They were remembering your kindness. They were remembering the way you believed in them when they struggled to believe in themselves. They remembered the comfort of your energy, the peace that surrounded your conversations, and the strange feeling that whenever they imagined a happy future, somehow you were always standing somewhere inside it. They could no longer deny what their heart had been trying to reveal for so long. Every excuse they had created began falling apart one by one. Every wall they built around their emotions developed cracks. Every reason they gave themselves to stay silent suddenly felt smaller than the regret of losing you forever. That realization was not gentle. It shook them completely. For the first time, they stopped asking whether they should protect themselves and started asking whether protecting themselves had already cost them the greatest blessing of their life. That question became impossible to escape. It followed them into the morning, stayed with them throughout the day, and returned again each night. Even when they smiled around other people, there was a quiet ache hidden beneath the surface. They were beginning to understand that pretending to be fine could fool others, but it could never fool their own soul. Their heart knew exactly who it longed for, and no amount of distraction could erase that truth anymore. As the days passed, strange coincidences began happening more frequently. They would hear your favorite phrase spoken by a complete stranger. They would notice your birthday appearing in unexpected places. They would wake up moments before dawn with an overwhelming feeling that someone was thinking about them, and somehow your face was always the first image that entered their mind. At first they dismissed these moments as coincidence, but when they continued happening again and again, they could no longer ignore them. They started paying attention. They began asking themselves whether the universe had been trying to guide them all along. The more they listened, the clearer everything became. They realized that every delay, every lesson, every painful moment had quietly transformed them into someone capable of understanding love in a completely different way. Before, they thought love was about certainty. Now they understand that real love often requires courage before certainty ever arrives. They thought love should always feel comfortable, but now they know the deepest connections also reveal our greatest fears because they ask us to become more honest than we have ever been before. That realization has humbled them. It has softened the parts of them that once resisted vulnerability. They no longer want to hide behind pride because they finally see that pride can win an argument while losing a soulmate. They have begun imagining what life would feel like if they never spoke. They picture years passing, opportunities disappearing, and memories becoming all they have left. Every time they imagine that future, it leaves them with the same unbearable feeling. Regret. Not because they loved, but because they never allowed that love to speak freely. They have discovered that silence creates questions which can last a lifetime, while honesty, even if difficult, creates peace. That is why they are slowly gathering the courage they once believed they could never find. They are no longer searching for perfect words because they have realized perfect words do not exist. Honest words do. And honesty is becoming stronger than fear with every passing day. Somewhere deep inside, they are preparing themselves for a conversation that could change everything. They imagine beginning with something simple, perhaps asking how you have been, perhaps apologizing for the distance, perhaps admitting that you never truly left their thoughts. Yet beneath those simple words lies a truth much bigger than either of you may expect. They want you to know that your absence taught them lessons your presence never had to. They want you to know that life without your energy felt incomplete in ways they could never explain to anyone else. They want you to know that even when they looked confident on the outside, part of their heart was quietly searching for the feeling it only ever found with you. But the universe is also asking for patience. Not passive waiting, but patient trust. There is a difference. Patient trust allows both hearts to grow into the people they are meant to become before destiny brings them face to face again. Every lesson you have learned during this period has strengthened your own spirit. You are no longer the same person you were when this journey began. You have discovered resilience. You have learned the value of protecting your peace. You have realized that your worth does not depend on someone else's timing. Those lessons matter because if this conversation truly arrives, it should meet the strongest version of you, not the most anxious one. Your soulmate is beginning to sense that strength from afar. They feel that your energy is calmer now. More centered. More confident. Instead of pushing them away, that transformation draws them closer because it reminds them of the kind of partnership they truly desire, one built on honesty, respect, growth, and emotional maturity rather than confusion and fear. The closer they move toward that understanding, the more impossible it becomes to continue pretending nothing has changed. Something has changed. Everything has changed. Their heart has awakened to a truth they spent too long avoiding. Their perspective has shifted. Their priorities have become clearer. Their soul is no longer asking them to stay comfortable, it is asking them to become courageous. And courage often begins with one conversation, one confession, one decision to stop hiding behind yesterday's fears. Your soulmate knows that once they finally speak, there will be no turning back. The silence that lasted so long will be replaced with honesty. The questions that haunted them will finally receive answers. Whether those answers lead to a new beginning or simply greater understanding, they know one thing with certainty now: remaining silent is no longer an option. Their heart has already crossed the line their mind was afraid to approach. Destiny has been patient, but destiny also moves. The energy surrounding this connection feels different because both souls have changed through the lessons they were meant to experience. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not that two people find each other. Sometimes the miracle is that they each become who they needed to be before finding each other again. If this message has reached you today, let it remind you to keep choosing peace, wisdom, compassion, and self-respect. Those qualities will never delay what is truly meant for you. They prepare you to receive it. Your soulmate's heart is no longer asleep. It is remembering. It is healing. It is gathering the strength to speak the truth that has lived inside it for far too long. And when that truth finally finds its voice, it may begin with only a few simple words, but behind those words will be months of reflection, countless silent prayers, unspoken emotions, and a realization they can no longer ignore, that some connections are too meaningful to abandon, some people leave a mark that time cannot erase, and some conversations arrive exactly when both hearts are finally ready to hear them. Whether that conversation happens soon or later, let your own journey remain rooted in growth rather than certainty. The future is never guaranteed, but honesty, healing, and self-respect are always worthwhile. Sometimes the most meaningful transformation begins not with the other person speaking, but with both people becoming capable of hearing each other clearly. And that quiet transformation may be the most important thing that happened of all. As your soulmate stands at the edge of this new beginning, one final truth becomes impossible for them to ignore. They finally understand that love was never asking them to be perfect. It was only asking them to be honest. For so long they believed they needed the perfect moment, the perfect explanation, the perfect version of themselves before reaching out to you. But life has taught them that perfection is an illusion. Hearts are changed by sincerity, not flawless words. That realization has become the turning point of their journey. They have stopped waiting for fear to disappear because they now know courage is choosing love even while fear still exists. Somewhere deep inside, they have already made their decision. They are no longer asking whether they should speak. They are preparing themselves for the moment they finally will. Every lesson, every delay, every sleepless night, every sign they noticed, every dream they remembered, every coincidence they questioned has brought them to this exact place. They now see the bigger picture. Nothing was wasted. Every challenge revealed something they needed to learn. Every silence forced them to listen to their own heart. Every distance made them appreciate the connection they once took for granted. Now, when they imagine the future, they no longer see endless uncertainty. They see one opportunity, a chance to tell you everything they were too afraid to say before. They want you to know that your kindness stayed with them. Your patience stayed with them. Your belief in them stayed with them. Even during the moments when they seemed distant, a part of their heart never stopped carrying your memory. They finally understand that true connections are not measured only by how often two people speak. They are measured by how deeply they continue to affect each other's lives even through silence. And your presence has continued shaping them in ways they never expected. They are no longer the same person they were when this story began. They have become more humble, more aware, more willing to choose honesty over pride. That transformation is the real miracle. Because before destiny changes circumstances, it changes hearts. Before a new chapter begins, it prepares the people who will live it. And perhaps that has been happening all along. While you focused on healing, your soulmate was learning. While you searched for peace, they searched for truth. While you wondered whether anything was changing, the universe was quietly rewriting both of your stories behind the scenes. Now those two paths are moving closer together, not because of pressure, not because of chasing, but because growth has replaced fear. If this message has found you today, let it be a reminder to keep your own heart open without losing your self-respect. Continue becoming the strongest version of yourself. Continue choosing hope over bitterness, wisdom over impulse, and peace over anxiety. The future belongs to those who allow life to unfold without forcing what is not yet ready. Your soulmate's heart is awakening in its own time, just as yours has been. Whatever tomorrow brings, never forget your value. Never forget that you deserve honesty, respect, and genuine effort. Real love does not ask you to abandon yourself. It invites both people to become better than they were yesterday. And if this connection is truly meant to continue, it will return with greater understanding, deeper honesty, and a stronger foundation than before. So as this message comes to an end, remember this: sometimes the greatest miracle is not hearing the words you've been waiting for. Sometimes the greatest miracle is becoming the person who no longer needs those words to know their own worth. When that happens, everything begins to change. Doors that once seemed locked begin to open. Hearts that once seemed silent begin to speak. Paths that once seemed impossible begin to align. Whether your soulmate reaches out tomorrow, next week, or later, let your faith remain stronger than your fear and your peace remain greater than your doubt. Because what is meant to find you will never require you to lose yourself to receive it. And if destiny has truly written your names into the same story, then no amount of distance, silence, or time can erase what the universe has already begun. This chapter ends here, but your journey does not. The next page of your life has already started turning, and only time will reveal the beautiful truth waiting on the other side. The end.